Are there any specific tools that you recommend businesses starting off, or students leaving today to make sure they're getting on, or if they're a business that they're adopting? Are there just some basic tools that you think every business should have, or encourage employees to use?
It depends on the size.
Yeah.
The bigger companies are using the big social platforms, the Buddy Media and Sync Apps, to kind of manage their social program, and I think there's tools to simplify, which in the business world are the ones that are getting adoption really quickly. So you were pointing out that the early adopters want the shiny new thing all the time, which is completely true. But I would say in the corporate world, it's the opposite. It's like, give me something that I won't look stupid with. And it's the complete opposite. And I think there's a great business in that, I'll tell you, working in corporate.
Do you want to go with I was just going to say, if you're an individual or a small startup, you should use the tools that are freely available to you, right? And they're all out there. I mean, take ownership of whatever you're going to be the expert in. I used to say, if you're going to be an expert in that square of the floor and the tile right there, take ownership of that and completely own the word, the tile, everything around it, and just like be that, right? And then you have clout, you have influence, you're showing up on his radar, and then after that, it's like, to listen, you can buy Radian6, or we have a social listening platform and all these, but these are very expensive. Searching on Twitter will yield you the same results, without actually paying stuff. Google offers a suite of tools. Their analytics platform just went real time, and now you can look at it that way. Just about everything you want to do at a small scale can be done for free and DIY. I come from like a punk aesthetic, and it's really, do it yourself, right? And every single tool out there or every kind of like result you need can be achieved with cheap, free tools right now. When you get to the scale that he's talking about and you're running a real business at a real level, you're going to need enterprise level software and be able to do it that way. But I wholly encourage you not to be buying off the platform software right now and be using just your normal skill sets with the tools that are freely available.
Can I say one thing to you? I'm sorry. Which is, I think the small businesses, the thing to do, that if I was going to do one thing, it's, you're managing your Facebook page day to day, but in doing so, to take your satisfied customers and amp them up into advocates. And there was a great piece the other day about Morton Steakhouse, and I forgot the writer, who just was kidding, and he tweeted that he's getting on a plane from Florida and saying, I wish there was a Morton Steak when I got off the plane in Newark. And they saw it and picked it up and showed up with the steak, cost them $100, and it's just gotten so much play. It's been on TV, it's been everywhere. And what did that cost? There was no technology really involved in that. It was just a principle of, let me make happy, satisfied users into these huge advocates who broadcast.
I love the old school, like, deliver real value, have a little marketing angle on it. Like, I'm a small company, we're desperate to find engineers. I'm putting an open call out right now, right? But it's so competitive, like in a market where people can't find jobs. I have 18-year-old kids asking me where the chef is, and the reality is it's very competitive to find engineers right now. My new tactic that I'm going to deploy tomorrow is I've hired a sandwich board guy to stand outside of Google with a set of code on it that only engineers can read, right?
It's cool.
And it's like, start with the new company, not the old company, because they're old now, right? And the people who can read it are already qualified for the job, right? They've already like passed the interview.
Great. And his office is less than 5 blocks away.
And then I'm ripping off things off of street poles too. Have you seen this cat? He's awesome. You pull off the tab. You can do the same thing with that. So old school, new school, I think is the way. ABC, Yahoo, another example of old school, new school, that merger today. I think we're entering in a real. I'll go to a thing you did that I thought was super genius was, I think it was Just Desserts, where this is the greatest activation in the last year for me. So they were giving away free cupcakes on a Friday afternoon, and they activated it through social. So
in 20 cities.
Right, in 20 cities. So you just, they checked in on Foursquare, or they announced it through Foursquare and Twitter and what they were doing. It was an established brand. activating through social with an old school thing of like, you're gonna get sugar for free on a Friday afternoon, right? Perfect storm, perfect wind, scaled beautifully.
Social media only, take a wild guess at how many impressions it got, because the head of marketing told me before I left the office. So it was just on Twitter only, and it was trucks and bakeries, basically, offering a free cupcake, okay, in 20 cities. So for a day, to launch Top Chef Just Desserts. 1 million? 33 million. One day. So that just goes to show you the reach of
Right, social.
something
Try to do
social.
that
Yeah.
with buying bus stops and street snipes.
And it was free. I mean, well, actually, it probably wasn't free, because they probably had to pay for the company to pay the cupcake. So, okay, so I won't say totally.
Cheap.
Yeah.
But cheap, exactly. Scaled at beautiful levels.
Yeah, that's great. I'd love to hear a little bit from each of you guys on what you think is next. Like, what is the next big thing in social media? Like, I feel like broadcasting, you guys have
Okay, well, I
really
can
been-
talk about what because we just announced it, so I'll just mention one thing, which is if any of you are any Top Chef fans here, Top Chef starts in a month, and I think the next level is in social media is transmedia, and transmedia is telling stories across platforms. So in Top Chef 9, it's shot in Texas, you'll see the regular show on air. And then as people get eliminated, there will be a companion web series where people are competing to get back on. So basically, they'll compete constantly, and then the final ones who are eliminated will be competing to try to get back and compete in the finale. And then the third level of storytelling, besides a digital series and an on-air series, is the social media storytelling series. So this will all be accompanied by a product that Mark's company built called @BravoTV, which is a Twitter tracker, real-time conversation happening all the time around shows and talent. So one of the pieces is an instigator, sort of tweet battles that will be happening between the contestants. And you see this Twitter tracker, and one of the key things is the sponsor, because I need to be able to fund this, because I'm trying to prove that by having this deep engagement of integration of digital content and on-air content, you're going to raise the whole level of ratings, of traffic, and of the ROI to the sponsor. In this case, it's Toyota. So there's this very deep integration of the sponsor and really making it integrated with the editorial, so that it's not like they're just, spots and dots, but really make them, have a loyalty rewards program where there's challenges about Toyota, where in this tracker thing you can find out more about it's Toyota Prius and those brands and what the ideas you're trying to get. And the idea is you're trying to get the conversation as closely linked to what's going on in the show. So that's where I think, in our particular brand, this is, I think, the next iteration, which is really getting social media into the storytelling genre versus saying it's like something else outside trying to make it go bigger. I think you have to really tie it more closely to the show itself.
Great. What about you, John, and the different clients you're working with?
I think the most important new thing, which is really more of an evolution than something completely new in social media, is globality. Doing global marketing is a big pain. It's very expensive. It's complicated, and you've got like a Facebook where it's already built out, and to go global and the imprint. It's in most countries, not in everyone, but the ability of marketers to talk to the whole world and people to talk to each other, I think is accelerating at a very, very fast pace. Global Facebook page is kind of the assignment du jour for the last 3 months, and we've done like 8 of them. And it's just, to me, going to be the most effective way and the easiest way to do global marketing.
And how do you
that's ever
handle
been.
like the language barriers?
Well, let's just take Facebook. There's a global page, and then there is a local part of the page, and that gets activated locally. So you have global events, and you said tentpole events. There's like the Olympics, and then you have there's also the Olympics. Has some relevance in India to the Indian team, which is a little bit different. So there's the part that works globally, and then there's the regional, and then there's the local. So it's all segmented right on the page. But you have global listening. I mean, it would have cost me $200,000 to do focus groups in 6 markets around the world in 3 months. Now I can do global listening for $5,000 in 5 or 6 countries, language agnostic, using like Crimson Hexagon or somebody like that, and instantly in $5,000 in 3 days, and you get all this stuff back. It's incredible. So the globality of it is, to me, you know, where, from my standpoint, from marketing, the biggest thing I see in the next year or two.